Hello, I'm Bob Trelogan. I'm a retired vet. Used to work in Lawrencekirk in the How the Mans in Scotland in a large animal practice. And those were the days in the 70s when there was the brucellosis accreditation scheme, which involved us vets in a lot of blood testing. And one day I went to do this big herd of beef cattle on the Edsall Estates. And they had about 10 stockmen to help round up the cows and run them through a crush and help me take the blood samples and so on. And so there was a lot of blood and dung flying around. And when it came to midday, we took a break for our lunch. And so we were eating our sandwiches together in a large group of 10 or so men with rather dirty hands, I must admit. And some of the men began to tease one of the others, actually ridicule him, saying, "Hey, look at George," or I can't remember his name, but let's say it was George. "This George here, he goes to church on a Sunday. Ha, what an idiot. Out of date and stupid and irrelevant." And the man didn't answer back. But here was an opportunity for me, the vet, who they respected, although I was young, a new graduate at the time. And after all, we're Christians, being part of the Vet Christian Fellowship, and part of our reason for being vets is to be an example in how we do and behave and relate to people, and especially how we take opportunities that God gives us to witness for Him. So what do you think I said? I didn't say a word. I was scared that they would laugh at me. And I was so ashamed. Doesn't the Bible say in 1 Peter 3, "In your heart, set apart Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect." Well, I suppose I could have said, excuse myself and said, well, nobody asked me. But it was an opportunity, wasn't it? But there are opportunities all the time that God gives us to share our faith and our worldview with others, and to give a reason why we behave as we do. Wasn't Peter or the disciples asked a question on the day of Pentecost? What does this mean? And even some ridicule. These men are drunk. And when Peter answered that question and corrected the misunderstanding that created the ridicule, then 3,000 people believed. And I'm glad to say that following that failure of mine, I had lots more opportunities in the byre at night, going to an emergency and sitting on a bullock after surgery, waiting for it to come round, and even people saying, "Could we invite you out for a meal to such nice people," and so on. And so God does give us these opportunities. So here is the verse for the thought for the day. Let me read it again. "In your hearts, set apart Christ as Lord. Always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you, to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do this with gentleness and respect." Maybe today is the opportunity for you to speak for Jesus. God bless you.